Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Well, today started off very, very quiet. The markets were in the range of about 20, 25 points on the S&P. And then obviously there was the FOMC had the minutes today, and then the press conference by FOMC Chairman Jerome Powell. And the rate was unchanged and not cutting interest rates. He did another a press conference after at 2:30, lasted about 30 minutes, and the markets pretty much started selling off because obviously he's saying that they're ready and willing to, but he expects higher prices with the tariffs and a whole bunch of blah blah blah. But anyway, they didn't cut interest rates, and that's the moral right here. So that's it basically. Right out of the gate, no interest rate cut for the May. Didn't even hint for June. However, around I would say 340, the S&Ps exploded and then sold off sharply. The S&Ps were trading around the 56.10. They trade up to 56.75. Then they dropped all the way down to 56.26 before settling up another 25 points around the 56.50. The news came out that President Trump is going to start rescinding on a little bit of the chips on the tariffs on the semiconductor chips, and the market like that. Nvidia exploded at one point. Nvidia was trading above the 17.5. I'll show you some really great patterns in Nvidia and Avago after that move. Also, really great patterns today on Palantir, Nvidia. What else? Netflix. Phenomenal patterns on the Qs and the spiders. And on the 60-minute time frame. When we got that push up at 345, the first thing I do whenever we get these big push up all the way up, I go and I look at the 60-minute time frames. The 60-minute time frames, the non-confirm on the S&P futures, the NASDAQ futures, the spiders and the Qs on the 60-minute time frame. Also, when we push down below 5,600, there were four phenomenal great buys on the four ETFs on the 15-minute time frame, the non-confirmation, the spiders, the Qs, the Russell, and the diamonds. All the 15-minute MACDs did non-confirm. So we have a lot to show you here today. Also, MSTR reversed to buy on the 60-minute time frame. You had three great pullbacks on MSTR on the 15, one great short on a sell divergence in a positive trend. Netflix was phenomenal this morning, making new highs, non-confirmation on the 30 and the 60-minute time frames. Netflix traded as high as 11.61. And then, boom, it dropped about $11 after that pattern started to unfold. Also, the Russell, the IWMs, the 15-minute time frames reversed to sell. It correlated with the 30 and the 60. Got a really great short on the Russell around the 230 time period, and that dropped. But again, once the market started dropping, and then around 330, there was some good buy divergences. The 15-minute time frames reversed to buy on the spiders, the Qs, and the diamonds. So I knew that the lows were in. So that means we weren't going to test that 98 level on the S&P. And then they rallied about 15 points. And then, boom, at 340, 345, the news came out about the chips and the tariffs, and the market ricocheted up. It was so fast that the data couldn't even be printed on the charts. That's on the charts overlaid. So some of them worked great. Great patterns, say in Palantir, a really great long around the 2 o'clock time period. Tesla again making new lows and a negative trend on Tesla. The 30-minute MACDs didn't confirm. On Palantir, I'll show this pattern to you. Made new lows, but you're in a sell disconnect. So let's get back right to the charts because there's so much to show you here today. All right. So this is the 15-minute time frame reversing to buy right here. So when the 15-minute time frame reversed to buy, well, this is, let me go back here. When you got the push down to the new lows here on the spiders, all right, you can see that you did not make a new low here. If I minimize this here, okay, and then when you made a new low here on the spiders, the MACDs could not make a new low right here. And I knew that was a big buy divergence right here. So that's why I was calling for longs on the market at that particular time. If you look at the Russell, the IWMs, same thing. You're making new lows, and these MACDs, and we're nowhere near making new lows. Look at the diamonds here. The diamonds, same thing. The Dow futures, the diamonds, the underlying ETF. Look at that. 408.15, boom, rally. Look at that. Over 380 points on the Dow off that oversold condition. Again, if you can master these divergences in this particular instance, this is a buy disconnect on the buy divergence. Look at the Qs here. The Qs in this example here are all negative on the 15 to 30 and the 60-minute time frame. And here you have it. The 15s oversold. The MACD still cannot confirm the low. And this is a monster. So buy. So all the 15-minute time frames, when the S&P futures and NASDAQ futures were pushing to new lows, you had buy divergences on the 15-minute time frames. They were absolute Picassos. I saw it. I'm like, good Lord, they're making new lows, non-confirmation. Back up the truck. S&Ps ran from the lows. They ran about, I don't know, Jesus. They ran, the Dow ran over 300, so that means the S&Ps had to run over 20 points, 25 points on the S&P. NASDAQ futures on that, we're trading roughly around the 19,000, about the 720 level, 710 level, and then they ricocheted right back up to 19,000, like 895. They rallied 180 points like nothing. The Qs rallied 3. Unbelievable pattern, unbelievable pattern. All I can say is that the market was like a casino from 2:30 on. During the day, it was pretty quiet. Let me show you here Netflix here. I'm going to show you Netflix. This is the push up here. And Netflix had a lot of great patterns. First of all, this is the push up to new highs here on Netflix. And you can see the 60-minute time frame right here, the non-confirm. The MACDs did not confirm on the 15. It did not confirm on the 30-minute, the 60-minute. And here's the 60 non-confirming. Here's the 30-minute right here, non-confirming. If you go back, you can see Netflix did not make a new high. So when Netflix was making the new high here early in the morning at 61, 62, the MACDs did not confirm on the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. Now let's go back to Netflix. Here was a beautiful pattern. This is the 30. This is one of my favorite strategies in the world. When the 30-minute time frame reverses to buy, and it correlates, okay, and it correlates with the 15 and the 60-minute time frame, you buy the first pullback on the 5, the second pullback on the 15. This is an absolute Picasso. Oversold into the positive MACD. Oversold into the 30-minute. Now the 30 reversed to buy. Look what Netflix did. Netflix pushed up 11.49. Boom. Even if you got out here, it's still $6, and it pulled in, made a higher low, and then continued to even go higher. Ran about 11. Now, because Netflix reversed to buy in the 30-minute, and when the 15 reversed to sell, you now go into what? You go into a buy disconnect. The 15 reverses to sell, the 30 and the 60-minute time frame are buy. When you got the deep oversold condition, you look to buy it against the 30 and the 60. If you look at the 30-minute time frame on Netflix, even on this push down into the positive MACD, you can see the yellow dots. The price had nowhere to go. Okay, they weren't looking like they were going to go negative. The MACDs are positive. Look what Netflix does. I mean, this was fast. It got down to 11.45 and change. And just within 5 bars, you can see the pop of about $13 on Netflix. A monster long pattern there. Again, this is how you read the market, and these are phenomenal strategies here. Phenomenal strategies. All right, let's look at Palantir this morning. When Palantir was pushing down to new lows right here, the 15s was in sell mode, the 60s in sell mode. So that means that we have a buy disconnect, okay, in a sell. I'm sorry, we have a buy divergence in a sell disconnect. I apologize. The 15 and the 60-minute time frames are in sell mode. Okay, here's the 15, and then I'll show you the 60 right here. Okay, so all three time frames are in all three time frames were not aligned. The 15 and the 60 are in sell mode, the 30s in buy mode. So when you got the push down here on the new lows for the day, you had a buy divergence in a sell disconnect. If you look here on the opening, when Palantir was trading 1185, it was a monster short against the overbought condition into the negative MACD. Palantir in no time dropped more than $2 on that pattern. A phenomenal pattern. Let's look at MSTR. MSTR reversed to buy on the 60-minute time frame. You can see now the MACDs are still non-confirming the high here. All right, but look at every pullback on the 15-minute time frame on MSTR today. All right, here's one, here's two, here's three on the long, and then you can see here at the end of the day, the 15 got overbought into the negative MACD. But because the 60 now correlated with the 30 and the 15, you had 1, 2, 3 great longs on the 15-minute time frame on MSTR. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla now is a little different. Tesla is different than PLTR. PLTR was bullish on the 30, negative on the 15 and the 60-minute time frame, but Tesla was negative on all three time frames, the 15, the 30, and the 60-minute time frame. So if I show you Tesla, you can see Tesla here made new lows here, right here, at the present time, and the MACDs did not confirm the low. Then at the end of the day, right after the Chairman Powell was talking, you can see another push down on price. The MACDs did not confirm on Tesla on the 30-minute time frame. If you switch here to the 15, you can see also the 15 did not confirm the low right here on this low here, okay, and on this low here. So you had two buy divergences, okay, in a negative trend on Tesla. These are phenomenal patterns. Phenomenal. The MACDs did not confirm on the new low on both times on Tesla because the 30 and the 15-minute MACDs, first the MACDs were positive on the 30, but the MACDs could not confirm the low on Tesla on the 15-minute time frame. Apple today. Apple reversed to sell on the 15-minute time frame. Is that today, the 7th? Yes, ding, 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 ding. Apple reversed to sell on the 15 right here. This is the first short in Apple above the 199. This happened around 10:30 in the morning. Now, when Apple reversed to sell on the 15-minute time frame, it correlated with the 30 and the 60. So you had one great short here in Apple on the 15, and the 15 getting overbought into the negative MACD. Then when Apple got kabooshed, this is the second short in Apple right here. We actually short this Apple above the 199, the 195.40, hit like 195.76, and then you can see the drop of about $2. And then here you can see the oversold condition, but that was here nor there. And then again, the 15-minute time frame at 3 o'clock getting overbought, and you can see the drop here in Apple of more than $1. So one short, two short, three great shorts in Apple, especially when the 15-minute time frame reverses to sell, correlating with the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. All right, let me show you Avago. at the end of the day. When Avago reversed to sell on the 15-minute time frame right here, this was a screaming buy. Number one, you made new lows and the MACDs couldn't confirm. Number two, you're making new lows and you're getting oversold, and the 30 and the 60-minute time frames are still in buy mode. They're still in buy mode. What happened was there is that Avago, you can see here the oversold condition against the 30 and the 60. But now let me show you Avago on the 5-minute time frame. This is an absolute, when the 15 reverses to buy here, yes, the MACDs are above the pivot. So you like to take the short, okay? Exactly what happened. Avago printed above 206, dropped more than $4. But then, because the algorithm reversed to buy on the 15 and it correlated with the 30 and the 60, the MACDs are positive on the 5. You need to cover the short, and then you just look to go long. And look what Avago did. Got down to 204.19 and then pushed up about almost $3 there. Almost $3, okay? NVIDIA, same pattern. Pushes up. The MACDs are above the pivot. The algorithm reverses to buy. You take the short in NVIDIA above 117.10. Look, it gets up to 117.68. It drops. Look at this drop. It dropped almost $3 here. And then because it has the exact same pattern, the up and in pattern into the positive MACD, NVIDIA was a screaming buy below 115. And then look what it did. It rallied nearly $2 at the end of the day. So these patterns that I'm showing you here are set patterns that happen throughout the day. And when the MACDs are above the pivot and the algorithm reverses to buy, and all three MACDs are above the pivot on the 15, the 30, and the 60, and the 15 reverses to buy, well, you can see when it gets overbought, you take the short. And I'll show you here a really great example too is the diamonds today. When the diamonds reverse to buy right here at the end of probably around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, the diamonds reverse to buy with the algorithm above the pivot right here. You take the short, okay, right here above the 411.50, boom, it dropped over 200. Now, at the end of the day, you can see the push up to new highs. And again, what stopped the market from pushing up, okay, and stopping it dead in its track? It was the 60-minute time frames on the continuous contracts and the underlying ETFs. You're making new highs here on the day, 56.75 right here. You can see it today. Here's the 7th. The MACDs did not confirm on the 60-minute, on the S&P futures, the NASDAQ futures, and also look here on the spiders on the 60-minute and the 30-minute time frame on the spiders. Well, that goes for the 30-minute S&P futures as well. So here you have the push up right here. You can see the push up with the big sell divergences. The spiders reverse to sell on the 60-minute time frame. So what do you look to do? The 60s are now negative on the 30, on the Qs and on the spiders. So now you're in a negative, you're in a sell disconnect because the 15s are bullish. But now look at that push up today. That push up right there at, it was actually at 3 o'clock when that happened. But if I go back here, you can see it. It was it's in the 3 o'clock window. I'll go to a 5-minute time frame. I'll just show you. Okay, here it is, 3 o'clock, 3:45. Sorry. So it's in the 1 hour bar. And when you were making new highs here, the MACDs did not confirm on the 60-minute time frame on the spiders, the Qs, the NASDAQ futures, the S&P futures. And it just got absolutely kabooshed. All right, it got absolutely kabooshed. If you really look at it, though, you can see the highs not only had the non-confirmation, okay, on just one asset, they were on both the S&P futures and the underlying ETF. So a major, really great pattern right there. Really great pattern. I want to show you one more Coinbase here today. Coinbase, I'll show you on the 15-minute time frame. Coinbase reverses to sell on the 15-minute time frame, and it correlates with the 30 and the 60. Let me put this to the 30. Sorry. Okay, you can see that Coinbase reverses to sell right here at the end of the day, and you can see in this instance right here, we had what's called the sell disconnect. The 30 and the 60 are in sell mode, but when Coinbase reverses to sell on the 15-minute time frame, you take the first bounce on the 15 right here, right into the 10 bar, was right around here. The price was above the 206 level, got up to 196 level. It got as high as 196.71, and then you can see how it dropped here, roughly almost more than $2 here. Okay, about 240, and then it pushed up at the end of the day. So again, what I'm teaching you here are these strategies and these patterns, and it's all based upon the combination methodology. If you can understand these strategies that I'm showing you, and all the strategies are basically pure and simple buy and sell divergences. If you can master divergences, you've mastered the art of trading. So with that being said, I hope you understand this, and I wanted to show you these are the trade ideas. There were so many more here. Microsoft, I always leave out Microsoft for some reason, but this is a killer. Look at Microsoft today. All right, I mean, this was nothing but shorts on Microsoft here. That's the 30. Let's look at the 60. Look at these negative MACDs here. Every time Microsoft made a new high here, 1230. Here at the end of the day, the MACDs did not confirm on the 30 and 60-minute time frame. It's so clear as day. I had nothing but 4 or 5 great short trade ideas in Microsoft. You can see here, here's the opening from today, ding, 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 right on the 10 o'clock bar, right, 10:30 bar. And here's the high, 1. And you can see all the overbought conditions on the 15-minute time frame. But every new high, and it was 2 of them here at 12:30, and then here again at around the 3:45 time period. Look what Microsoft did, dropped almost 5 points. So, like I said, if you can master divergences, especially looking at the bigger time frames, things can really become very, very, very clear for you. All right. When I get back, I will tell you what I expect for tomorrow. Okay, for tomorrow we have an 8:30 initial jobless claims number, and then we have U.S. productivity number as well, and then the wholesale inventory is at 10. So really not big numbers here, but again, what I expect for tomorrow. Well, I'm still looking for the daily to turn over here, okay, to get some deep oversold condition. I'm hoping for 5450, 5500 level. Now, right now, the spiders and the Qs are negative on the 60-minute time frame. The MACDs are negative. So, for me, the 60s is, unless something big happens, I don't see, there's no CPI number, PPI number, GDP number, employment number tomorrow. The 60-minute time frame, just to give you an example, we closed at 561.20, 560.78 on the spiders. And we're trading after hours right now. Yeah, about 560.78. So right now, in order for the 60-minute time frame to get a buy reversal, we would need to trade 57.10 tomorrow, up 70 points on the S&P. The Qs right now, 488.69. We closed at 483.30. So we're about a little over $5 away for the Qs reverse on the 60-minute time frame. I'm still looking for the dailies to get somewhat oversold, get another big push up, sometime probably into the end of May, early June, maybe to 5,800, 5,850, maybe 5,900. I don't know. And then I think they get cabooshed from June until July, June into September. That's what I'm thinking. But right now, NVIDIA's bullish on the 30 and 60-minute time frame. Avago's bullish on the 30 and 60-minute time frame. Tesla's been struggling, bearish on the 30 and 60. Netflix is bullish on the 15, 30, and 60-minute time frame. So there might be some underlying tone here for tomorrow. I don't know about how much, but I don't know what's going to be the catalyst to really kabushum, or I don't even know what counter catalyst there'll be, the kaboomum on the upside. But right now, I think we're going to be in a tight range today. The S&P's traded from, I think the range was about 56.75 down to 55.98. And again, I think there's going to be a ton of buy and sell divergences tomorrow. Overall, just looking at the market here, we just got to pick our spots and be patient, which leads me into the next segment. So please stay tuned. I want to share a really great thought on one of my 5 keywords. So I was talking to a young trader last night, and I said, he says, I'm just really not patient on my trades. And I said, well, that's one of my 5 keywords. And I said, you got to be patient, let the pattern set up, be patient on allowing yourself to really enhance your trading. I said, I wanted you to take a step back and understand that patience also is a form of discipline. He said, oh my God, I didn't think of that. I said, absolutely. I said, when you're trading the market, you want to be able to wait for the pattern, look at the bigger time frames, identify the trade, identify the condition, wait for the pattern to set up. Instead of just jumping in and jumping in and jumping in, wait for the pattern, wait for the trade. And he said to me, that's been one of my biggest problems. And again, I said to him, well, that's a form of discipline, right? And of my 5 keywords, consistency, discipline, confidence, patience, and passion. Some of these words overlap with each other, but you need to have a lot of discipline and have the patience. You just don't want to be like, some person just gunslinging in and out all day. You wait patiently today when the spiders and the Qs and the diamonds reversed the buy in the 15. I knew the lows were in for the day. I waited because now you have what's called a buy reversal sell disconnect. So I knew the pattern when they dropped around the 350 time period. S&P's traded down to the 26 3/4, 27. And the spiders drop, Avago drop, like I showed you. Nvidia dropped below 115, Avago below 202.5. And then what happened? Boom, kaboom. They rallied 25 points. Avago rallied almost 3. Nvidia rallied almost 2. Netflix on that pattern rallied, I think, maybe about $3. Okay, but the big ones were the spiders, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Qs, Nvidia, and Avago. So basically, when you wait patiently for these patterns to set up, and I'm guiding you and I'm educating you throughout the day on these patterns, and identify that pattern at the end of the day on that when the S&Ps in the market were dropping, NASDAQ futures into the positive MACDs, 15s reversed to buy. Beautiful, beautiful patterns. So again, just be patient. If you're patient, great things will come to you. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thank you for joining me here on the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. S&P's closed up 19, NASDAQ up 79. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, please follow me on Instagram at official Stephen Kalayjian, on TikTok, Instagram, and my X. Also, I do not DM, so please, if you want to call me or text me, my number is 914-500-7484. Please join my community of traders from all around the world at sktrading.live. That's my website. Again, thank you for being here. Be back tomorrow. Have a great night. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the evening. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Be well.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.